Connor Doyle won the prestigious Terra Cotta Invitational just 3 weeks ago, but he wasn't done there. He Monday qualified into the Myrtle Beach PGA Tour event where he then made the cut as an amateur. In this conversation, Connor and I talk about how he prepares, why he never goes to the range, and so much more. I loved this conversation, and I am sure you will too. You quit a consulting job in Atlanta to become a caddy at one of the hardest courses in America. 2 years later, you've won the Terra Cotta and made the cut on the PGA Tour. Walk me back to the day you handed in your notice. What did you think was going to happen?
Definitely not this. I mean, truthfully, this was not even in my wildest dreams. At the time, I was living in Atlanta, was burnt out, kind of hated the city, but who doesn't? And funny enough, I had a bad day at work one day, and my college roommate calls me, and he goes, "Hey, man, I moved to Charleston." He lived in Richmond at the time. "Would you like to join me?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to join you. Like, let's get out of here." So I was working on remote at the time, come to Charleston, sign a lease, all that fun stuff. Boom, get called back in the office. Well, they wouldn't let me live in Charleston, wouldn't let me stay remote. So I was like, I'm just going to quit this job. But I had to get my bonus. And my bonus was like 3 months or so after I signed my lease. So I was commuting to Atlanta from Charleston for a solid 3 months. And then sure enough, get the bonus, quit that day. Find myself without a job here, just from playing golf. Met a couple of guys that worked out the ocean courses. Like, all right, come out here. You can work as much or as little as you want, plus you get the playing privileges. I was like, all right, let's do it. Do that for a little bit. Start playing in a lot of tournaments again because I wasn't really playing much golf or many tournaments when I lived in Atlanta. Started playing pretty well, and then things just started compounding on top of each other, and I guess I found myself where I am right now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, like you said, you maybe weren't playing a ton of competitive golf. You stopped playing. What would you say to that golfer who's maybe making that decision right now? In hindsight, maybe what did some of that burnout teach you? Because you probably could have played in college. Like, it's very clear you were and are a good enough player to have played in college, probably at a ton of different schools. Instead, you decide to go and study at Auburn and then, come out and work in consulting, and now you're rocking and rolling, playing a bunch of mid-am golf and caddying and having a blast. What did that decision kind of look like for you?
I didn't have necessarily the game that at the time that wowed the college coaches because I was young for my grade and I was late to hit a growth spurt. So I never hit the ball more than roughly 250 yards until I was a senior. And then I hit my growth spurt and all of a sudden I start hitting at 280 and then I start playing really, really well. And just the way college golf was and the recruitment process was whenever I was growing up, like they kind of have everyone locked up by the time they're a sophomore in high school. And so my senior year, whenever I started winning everything, I started getting looks from a few different places, but I didn't really want to go to a JUCO at the time. I didn't really feel like maybe competing for a preferred walk-on and then plus, having to jump through some hoops just to get that preferred walk-on. Both my parents were engineers. They always told me, like, we'd love it if you got an engineering degree. So I was like, all right, I feel like I need to do the right thing, get my engineering degree. I'm a little burnt out on golf anyway. So that's kind of what I did. Put the clubs down for 2 or 3 years. Most of my fraternity brothers had no idea I even played golf. And then COVID hit, so there was nothing else we could really do. So we started playing golf. We're like, wait, you're kind of good. I was like, yeah, I can play a little bit. And then the state am happened to be in Auburn that year. I was like, well, I have an exemption to this sucker just because all the COVID got away with all the qualifiers. So might as well play. Played pretty damn well. And I haven't really looked back since. Been trying to play as much tournaments as I can ever since that 2021 year.
If you're enjoying this conversation so far, you are going to love the Play Ready Golf app. It takes the amount of time you have, the facilities you've access to, and the skill level that you're at, and it builds out a customized practice plan that gets harder over time so that you get better over time. You can use code PRGPOD and click the link down below to get a free 7-day trial and $20 off your annual plan for life. Now back to the conversation. Oh, that's sick, dude. I mean, and now you're out looping. What was the experience like, going from the corporate world over to getting to spend every day outside, carrying some bags and hanging out with some cool people?
Well, I caddied in high school, so I knew at least the basics and the 1, 2, 3s of how to do it. But I get out there that first day, and it was a Saturday, maybe early March. And so the ocean course is just jam-packed. They need everyone they can. And most of the time, they just send you off with a single bag and a veteran, and it's like, all right, let this guy show you the ropes. But for me, they sent me out with just a 2-ball, father and a son, and just kind of figure it out myself. Well, it was a great day. Felt like I really kind of got through the father and son, kind of trekking everywhere, didn't really know the course well. And then we finally get to 16. And for those of you who don't know what 16 is, it's a long par 5 over a couple bunkers, 580 something yards. I'm caddying for like the kid's probably like a 10 handicap. I call him a kid. He's like 28. And then the father's probably like 55 or so. And I am, by God, I am just looking everywhere for this dad's golf balls. And we were going right, left, everywhere. And the kid smokes one down the middle. He's in the left rough. I'm in like the right bunker searching. And kid holes out for an Albatross on my first loop ever. And it was one of those moments where it was just like, maybe I am meant to be here right now. Like, I think I did make the right decision. I mean, I have been a part of God knows how many thousands of rounds in my life. And that was the very first time I ever saw an Albatross, much less to see it from a 10 to 15 handicapper on a day where it's blowing 30 miles an hour.
That's so sick, dude. That's incredible. I mean, it sounds like working out there's a blast. I know Hayden's had a lot of positive things to say about working out there so far. And you've got this interesting, you and Hayden have this interesting dynamic where you're out there caddying, you're spending the whole day there, and you're also working on your game. Can you walk me through maybe, I know these last few weeks have been a little bit hectic with all kinds of events and qualifying into stuff, but maybe a day where you're out there and you're practicing. Can you walk me through what it looks like from kind of sun up to sunrise?
I don't hit a whole lot of golf balls, especially after loops. I mean, it'll take it out of your body. So I really just do a lot of short game stuff. If I have an early loop, I'll get out there at anywhere between 8 to 10, and I'll go on grass anywhere from like 9 to like noon, get done at like anywhere around 4. I might chip and putt for a couple hours, maybe hit 20 golf balls or so if my body's feeling good on the range afterwards. But that's really it. I mean, I just try to work a lot on inside 30 yards and just try to hone that the best I can. And the way I've looked at it, it's like I don't have good ball striking days and I don't have bad ball striking days. Like if I go to the range and start searching, like if anything, it's just want to kind of translate to the course and kind of have like that searching feel in the course. I just try to keep it simple for me.
That's interesting. And you've got this kind of interesting dynamic between being maybe a little bit of a field player, it sounds like, and having a really big engineering background. How have you kind of married those two? Do you feel like they play into each other so you're a little more well balanced? What does that look like?
Well, I might have an engineering degree, but anyone that knows me would say like I'm sure as hell not an engineer. Like I can at least put 2 and 2 together sometimes, but more times than not, I'm not computing Pythagorean's theorem to figure out how far in the trees I am and what the circumference of the top left bush is. But I don't know. It's good just from being able to have like the critical thinking background and like figuring out like like the expected value of a shot, like whether it's to play it safe or like whether it's like, all right, like if there's a par 5 with water, like truthfully going to the water might not be the worst thing in the world because it'd be an easy par, and then it also gives you like the ability to potentially make an eagle. But no, I'm really not that big of a thinker when it comes in the golf course. I've always described myself as a Dustin Johnson type, like see ball, hit ball.
I've definitely moved that way after college. Like I played little Division II school up here in Cedarville, Ohio. I loved my experience. I got way too into the data. And now I feel like I'm way more just like, let's get the ball in the hole as fast as possible. Let's just do that. I think that's kind of the goal here. My dad's going to kill me if I don't ask, because he's an engineer. My uncle's an engineer. What was your specific degree in, and kind of what was that? What was the golf scene like? What you said you were starting to get into it with your fraternity brothers there a little bit.
I was industrial and systems engineering. And so it really revolves around the business side of engineering, how to make processes as efficient as possible. And whenever I got out of school, I started working at a procurement, freight, and packaging consulting firm. And I mean, definitely not the most riveting stuff in the world. And then as for the golf side of things, I mean, whenever I was in Auburn, we actually had access to a bunch of fantastic courses that were public. I mean, I got to play the RTJs down there for $40, and then we had a couple other shit kicker type of golf courses I could play for like $20, but I also had a lot of guys to play with. I moved to Atlanta, and I couldn't play anywhere within the city at least for under $150 and more. And the best track was only a 9-hole course, still for $150. So I was hiking it about an hour and a half north or so every single weekend, and with traffic and whatnot, it's like a 8 to 10 hour day. So I kind of had to decide, like, would I rather play golf today or would I rather see my friends? And then on top of that, it was never really possible for me to get out after work. So I was like, all right, something's got to give, and I want to start playing golf again. So this whole work thing ain't going to work right now.
I love that. That's what my brother-in-law, he's a stick, and I've been telling him, like, if the path that you want to go down does not work out for you, I'm telling you, you would love caddying and playing golf, like, because he's a people person. He loves that aspect of things. He loves being around kind of the guys that you're around all day, which is these 9 to 5ers or their sons, or these people kind of working throughout the week and then maybe playing golf on the weekend or taking a trip to come down and play golf where you're caddying at. What does that experience give you when you go in to play competitive golf? Do you feel like the caddying aspect of your life now is helping you shoot lower scores?
I think I'd love to look you in the eye and be like, yeah, man, like me being able to caddy all the time has just like really helped me. Being able to see guys hit shots all the time, just like I drew it up for them, has helped me. But brother, I'd love to see you give a 7-iron to a guy that's a 25 handicap over a 30-mile-an-hour left to right wind. Take a wild guess what happens.
I feel like that's kind of that no laying up, like.
Yeah, I have to have a psychiatrist and a priest on speed dial because I need like weekly exorcisms at this point. Um, the best is you have a guy that plays a 30-yard slice with a 30-mile-an-hour wind off the left, and it's like, where should I aim? And it's like, brother, we can't aim far enough left.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. What do you think that those guys like? What's the biggest mistake that you see the people that you caddy for make?
I mean, just I don't know, is lack of fucking talent an acceptable term? Like, I mean, more times than not, like whenever I'm cleaning their clubs after they give it back to me, I mean, where they're hitting the ball is even on the grooves. But I mean, more times than not, these guys don't play a whole lot of golf. Like, they accept who they are when it comes to it. And my job out there, the way I look at it, is just to help them have as much fun as possible. And so, truth be told, most of them have no idea my background in the game and what it looks like. And I kind of prefer to keep it that way, at least most of the time. If I have a good player, like I am very, very excited to dig into the weeds with them and help them to the best of my abilities. But more times than not, I just kind of see myself as a personality out there, like hoping they can just have a good time around Kiawah.
I love it. Well, let's jump into the competitive side of your life. I want to start at Kinloch. 36 hole stroke play wraps up. You're in this big old playoff, 14 for 12. Walk me through what that playoff looked like.
Well, funny enough, it all started at the qualifier. At the qualifier, I was something crazy, like 600 through 12, and then just had an OB ball, a water ball coming in, and next thing I know, I found myself in a 5-for-1 playoff. I had to chip in on 18 to get into a 5-for-1 playoff, and then birdie the first hole of a 5-for-1 playoff to get to the mid-am. Play almost 36 holes of flawless golf, tee to green at least, and then couldn't buy a putt. Get to the playoff, and it was an easy playoff. It was like a 14 for an 11 type of deal. And I was first off, so I made my par. I was good. Teed off at like 6:30, but then I had to wait around to like 11:30. So like just kind of being able to manage like your energy and being able to see, all right, like more times than not, like par is going to be really, really good in USGA match play events, and just understanding, how to play golf at like a tough golf course.
Yeah. So first USGA match of that event, you're round of 64. You draw the 10 seed. Seeds kind of go out the window in these events, though. I mean, you're talking high level amateur golf. Everybody deserves to be there. It's not like your local city event where the 64 seed is some guy who's like it just squeaked in, right? Like all these guys are good. You win that match. Can you walk me through maybe some of the pivotal moments of this week? Because you win your round of 64, you win your round of 32, and then we get to the round of 16. Can you walk me through some of the pivotal moments of that week?
Well, it was a weird week because, like, as I said, like I had all this adrenaline going at probably 6 in the morning, and then I have like a 4 or 5 hour break until my match starts, and I was 2 down through 2. I think I even got to 3 down at one point. I had no idea the guy who I was playing, but he hit it like 370. I mean, especially in match play when you're playing against someone that's like consistently 60 yards past you on a soaking wet golf course. I mean, having wedges into par fives for their second shot, like that's a massive advantage. But I battled back. I mean, truthfully, it wasn't even the best match in the world, and like I might have shot 1 over, and that was good enough to close him out. Maybe 3 and 2. In a different world, you shoot 1 over, and I get bounced in the round of 64, and no one's talking about me. But anyway, play well there, make it to the round of 32, which is the next day. And again, I was like 2 or 3 down through 3 or 4 early in that match, and then just played lights out. I was like 6 under on like my last next like 14 holes, close him out like 3-2, and just kind of swing that on to the afternoon match where this time I was up early. Ended up going to extra holes, and we ended up playing like 21 holes before eventually I won that sucker. But it's tiring, Isaac, dude. I mean, you're out there all day, every day. It's like 14-hour days. Like you're running low on energy. You're trying to have to like dig as deep as you can, but like at the same point, you're having like these visions of yourself walking down Augusta National, playing the Masters. So there's just so many emotions to balance, and just trying to figure out how can I play golf in between all these emotions.
Well, how did you pull off playing golf between all those emotions and being exhausted? What were there any certain things you leaned on throughout the week? How have you kind of started to manage that?
Just my routine. I mean, truthfully, I'm probably a wreck in between shots. I mean, it doesn't matter what tournament it is. Like I've always considered myself a nervy player. It doesn't matter if I'm playing in the City Am, playing in a PGA Tour event. Um, I'm kind of pacing in between shots. Like I don't really love to be still. But the second I get behind the ball and start my pre-shot routine, it's just like the instincts take over. And so that's where I'm typically able to focus, typically able to get into my rhythm. And then whenever I'm playing really, really well and like I can kind of reach like that flow state area, like I genuinely have no idea what's going on. I mean, this past week on the Myrtle Beach Classic, like I was even asking my caddy on some like 4 times during one of the rounds. I was like, "What's the batting order? Like who's up?" And I kept asking me like, "Where's the wind coming off of?" And like we played like 4 holes like going the exact same direction. He's like, "Brother, it's still off your right. Like nothing has changed in the past hour." So I guess that shows you just how sophisticated I am.
No, I think that lines up really well with what the majority of really high level golfers say. I mean, one that comes to mind is Will Davenport, who when we talked to him, he was mentioning how routine is a big piece of why he's been able to continuously be successful, even as he's gotten busier with his job. And so I think that's a great point there. Well, let's jump one match ahead now. Quarterfinals playing Evan Beck. Anybody who follows amateur golf probably understands where this is going. Evan Beck at Kinloch. That's like a match made in heaven. But what did you learn from that match? As he's going to go out and just, I mean, he dominates in that championship match. You guys are tied through 15. Walk me through those last few holes and what you learned.
All right, so I even it up on either 14 or 15. We make our way to 16, which is like roughly a 245-yard par three downhill to a back left pin that's on the peninsula. And I could not have hit a better 4 iron to 20 feet short. And Evan hits a hell of a shot himself to maybe 15 feet short, a couple feet inside mine. And I mean, we're looking at a right to left putt breaking 5 feet. Mine breaks just short of the hole. He hits a hell of a putt. Doesn't matter if he had the line or not. Pours it in, so I'm one down. We get to 17, which is normal number 8 at Kinloch, and a back left pin. He hits it on the front right of the green. And for those of you that have played Kinloch, it's about a 120-foot putt over around 2 elevation changes. I hit one to 20 feet. He lags one from 100 feet to roughly 4 feet. Hell of a putt. I miss mine. He makes his. All right, we go into 18 all square. Dogleg right around a corner. I pipe one. He pipes one. I'm about a foot in front of him. He's going for it in 2. He stone cold tops it. I think he goes in the water. So I was like, all right, let's just lay up a 5 wood left of the green, hit mine to 60 yards out. We get up to his. He's in the USGA championship thick rough with all sorts of moisture everywhere on a downslope to a green that's 5 yards above him, sloping away from him. Hits a hell of a shot to like 100 feet again. Just to be on the green was incredible. I hit one to roughly 8 feet, and now he has to putt up and over a ridge to Aunt Sally's house and back, and he lags that sucker up to like 3 feet. I was like, who is this guy? And then I missed my 8 footer, and that's all she wrote for me. But that just gave me the confidence knowing I can play with the best mid-ams in the game. I mean, I've always wanted to be able to play at the highest level I can, and like being able to have the confidence, seeing like, all right, like this guy's like a bona fide stud. He's at the top. Like, I didn't see any difference between his game and my game. He's probably just a little bit more cleaner around the edges. So, in my eyes, I was like, I have what it takes.
And I think that's what I'm finding even for myself. Like I'm 26. It's like, yeah, man, I've got the game to compete at least locally with the mid ams. It's like, man, these guys they've been out here a little bit longer. They understand their tendencies a little bit better. But I mean, it's pretty clear that you've ascended to the top relatively quickly. I mean, you get the win at Devil's Elbow, you Monday qualify, or you get into a Monday qualifier for the Myrtle Beach event, then you Monday qualify, and then you make the cut. Walk me through that week, because we can't get 20 minutes into this episode without talking about this past weekend for you.
Well, I had to do the pre-queue,
Mm-hmm.
play that course sight unseen, shoot a 67. All right, cool. Then I go straight to Richmond for the Giles, play decent enough there, drive straight back down to Myrtle, get into Myrtle at like 10 p.m. Sunday night, my Monday qualifier. I'm like the third group off at 8 a.m. in the morning. Had a miscommunication, and end up only getting to my tee time like 20 minutes early. Again, playing the course sight unseen. Go to the pro shop, buy a yardage book, head to the first tee, dogleg left. I mean, I only hit cuts, just double cross one. I was like, all right, that's probably in the water. Like, we might be getting out here pretty fast. Turns out it was like just out of the water. Now I got to like duck hook a wedge out of the rough, make par. I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, let's get after this. Birdied the second hole, then had like a string of pars, and then we catch fire. I mean, I birdie a couple easy holes, but then I snag a birdie on like a 500-yard par four, make the turn at four. Go to the back nine, make an eagle on a drivable par four. Then, yeah, just kind of coast the finish line, three putt 18. And at the time, I thought that was going to cost me. I was like, damn, if I had been able to two putt that for birdie on 18, we get in here at eight under, like I think we'll be all right. Instead, I have to like just check my phone for 7 hours all afternoon, seeing what's up. But we eventually got in. And so now I haven't even been home at this point. I got my caddy to like bring me like a bunch of like pants and whatnot up. Thank God. Then I have to like go into like tournament week, get out there Thursday, feeling pretty decent. Played well enough, just like one, maybe two bad swings and a couple bad breaks, shoot two over. And then Friday, all my boys came out to watch me since I was the last tee time off. And then being able to like battle down the stretch and make the cut on the number was so cool. I mean, on 15, I missed like a 2-footer for birdie, and I thought that cost me. 16, I blow it way right in the woods. Have to like a punch shot under some tree branches to like 50 feet two putt. 17, had like an 8-footer for birdie and run it like 6 feet by. And then 18, I pipe one straight down the middle of the fairway. Best drive of the week. 137 out, middle of a divot. Hit it to 75 feet. And in front of like a big amphitheater on 18, had a two putt from 75 feet to make the cut. And damn it, we did it.
It was sick, dude. We were Hayden and I were watching very closely, obviously on Monday. We were watching very, 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 very closely on Friday, like texting each other all day, like, dude, he just made, oh, he's right on the cut. And I mean, bogey free on the PGA Tour, which is sick. But this isn't your first rodeo either. By winning the Devil's Elbow last year, you got into the Puticana. How did that kind of prepare you for Myrtle? Do you feel like that allowed you to play maybe a little bit more free, or walk me through kind of the difference between playing in that first event versus playing in Myrtle?
Well, like my first event, it's just a bunch of unknowns. It's like, like how good are these guys? Like, what's the course setup going to be like? And then on top of that, like for that event, I had like 6 months of like knowing I was going to be in events. Like, I mean, that's like a lot of time just to like have like the anxiety fester. But then like I got out there, like, I mean, truth be told, like, I mean, the guys are really good, but like I saw some atrocious shots by these guys as well. So like in the back of your head, you're like, all right, like these guys are kind of human too. And then on top of that, like they're doing this week to week, and he's playing golf every single day, and he just hit that shot, you know, type of deal. And so this week, I mean, again, I'd been gone for like 2 weeks at this point. I was like, fuck it, I'm just on vacation at this point. Let's just treat it as like a long week in Myrtle as like another vacation. Um, so I just tried to take care of myself the best I could. Like, wasn't really playing a whole lot of practice rounds. Like, was just really just kind of trying to do some energy conservation. And then, like, once golf started, I was like, let's just try to have fun. Like, that's really my only goal. Like, if I play well, like, that'd be awesome. But like, if not, like, let's just not put any pressure on myself this time. And it worked.
Yeah, heck yeah. What was Sunday at a PGA Tour event like for a mid am?
Um, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, I was the first group off Sunday, but I was playing with Tyler Colbert, who's playing in the PGA Championship this week, who has like 10 or so PGA Tour starts. So like, going to play with a guy like that who's been around the block a little bit, and just being like, all right, well, like, I have a job, like, that was pretty cool. But I mean, you see like a lot of people out there. Um, but like once you're inside the ropes for me, like I felt extremely comfortable. Like I felt like I was way more nervous for like maybe at the Terra Cotta or like even at the Giles compared to the PGA Tour event. I don't know why. I'm sure someone could probably tell me. But like just being inside the ropes on a Sunday and like kids wanting your autograph, like signing some kid's soccer jersey, and I'm like, sure, whatever you want, man. It was really cool.
I mean, you've had a crazy spring. I'm sure summer's going to be crazy, and then fall's when mid-am stuff really kicks in. Um, the terracotta, that's not some like chump change win. I mean, you've got a stacked field, and I know Hayden said that you're into pretty much anything you want now after winning that thing. And we don't need to jump into all that because I know some of that can get a little complicated. But man, that is an impressive win down in Naples. Walk me through that week. Were you feeling good going into the week? Do you Here's the other thing. You're competing for a win every single week. Like truly. You're in that echelon. Does any week feel different to you, or is every single week just, I mean, I'm going to show up and I'm just going to get the ball in the hole as fast as possible?
Yeah, I mean, expectation management is definitely something I struggle with at times. Like, I mean, I know deep down that like I have what it takes to win. I mean, especially damn near any amateur tournament, I just have to play really, really well. I wasn't even supposed to be in the field. I got a call Easter Sunday, a week before the tournament, saying like, "Hey, like you're our first alternate. Like we just had someone drop out. You want to play?" I've been playing no golf. Like past 3 weeks, I've been working damn near every day. Just I didn't have a tournament on my schedule for like another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even longer. I think the Monday Q is or the Giles is my next tournament. And so I get in, I was like, well, damn, now I gotta grind this week. It's sick to be able to play this event, but like at the same time, I've been playing like shit as I told you before we started recording, Isaac. And all right, let's see what happens. And then like kind of get down there, like play like a pretty man first round, just kind of scored well, and then like the floodgates opened. The second and third round, like I just ball struck it to death, and like that confidence just kind of compounds on top of each other. Um, Again, I told you there's no eureka moment. There was no swing thought that changed. It was just 1 second it was bad, and the other second it clicked. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Um, but like being able to play down, like all I really want in a golf tournament is just to be in the hunt. If I'm
Yeah.
in the hunt, like that's what I think is fun in golf. And I know I trust myself just being in the hunt. And so being able to be in the hunt there was really, really cool. And then to be able to close it out was like really, really fun as well.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of getting to help with the golf team here at Cedarville. I still live in Cedarville and help with the men's and women's team. And one of the things I've told the guys is your goal is not to start the week is not to win. Your goal is to give yourself a chance. Like those first 2.5 rounds are the buy-in, and now you get to experience like this is where you learn the most. And if you fail, that's better than not being there. And
Yeah.
we had guys get really, really close. We had a guy make it to regionals for the second time in school history, which was incredible, and didn't have his best stuff. And I'm still super proud of him because it's the goal is to get yourself in those positions. And then eventually, like you're finding, you're in those positions enough, you now know how to handle it much better than you did maybe the first time you were in that position and how you're out there balling out. And even if you fail, now you know what to look back on and say, oh, well, I did this maybe a little differently, or I didn't stick to my routine as well as I could have, or something along those lines. And you told Global Golf Post that your goal was to just keep having fun with golf. Now that you've got some wins under your belt, we're starting to see some borderline professional momentum, right? What's the goal now? Or is it still just, man, I want to go out there, I want to have fun, and I want to compete?
And I think as long as I keep having fun, like I'll probably be playing at least decent golf. Um, I don't really have any like set goals that I'd like to share at least. Like for the most part, it's like I just want to play in like the highest level tournaments I possibly can, whether that's high end amateur tournaments or, professional events so I can keep Monday qualifying for a couple more, like, so be it. But I mean, I feel like I'm still getting better. So like as long as I feel like just keep getting better, then I figure I might as well like just try to play in the biggest events I can. Like
Yeah.
having fun's the top priority. I mean, it's why you play the game. I feel like I see a lot of college kids, especially at these events, so like they just look like they're not having fun. Compare that to a couple of mid-am events where it looks like everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
So there's a stark contrast there for sure.
Yeah, it was last summer was the first summer I'd really gotten back into playing competitive golf. And I played in the Ohio Am and I played in the Ohio Mid Am. And the vibe difference between the two could not have been like I mean, I played with. I will name one of the players, Harry Satterley, who plays at UC, University of Cincinnati. He was a great hang. Like, very competitive, very very good amateur, very good college player, super chill guy. Like, would have loved to play with him every single day. I think I played with him 3 days. But yeah, you see some people out there. It's like, man, you're beating yourself up for no reason. You get to these mid-am events, and everybody's like hanging out, having a good time, hanging out afterwards. Like, hey, this is it right here. And that's what's been so fun to have these conversations with guys like you or anybody else who's come on the pod so far. It's like, it's just at the end of the day, we all love competing. We all love getting better. This is a sport that you can continuously get better at, continuously compete, and every single week everybody starts at zero, which is a blast. Speaking of that, we've got a big summer ahead of us. How do you prepare for kind of a circle on the calendar? Like you said, you had 6 months to prepare for the Punta Cana. That was a big red circle. I'm sure you've got some big red circles now. Do you prepare any differently, or is it kind of like, well, I wasn't really ball striking my way, to success before I started cooking earlier this year. I'll just kind of keep working and playing as much golf as I can and see what happens.
I mean, truth be told, I don't really swing a whole lot the week leading up to a tournament. Like, I mean, I might play 18 a couple of days before, but more than anything else, it's like really just kind of focus on inside 60 yards. Like, let's just make sure the chipping's good, bunkers, lag putting's huge. Just like let's just not like have any like super costly mistakes once the tournament's there. More times than not, if you like kind of take care of business like within 60 yards, like you're really not going to shoot a terrible score. If you can like maybe grab a couple like on like some like the medium difficulty par fours and then like just go to town on the par fives and like just take care of business everywhere else, like you're going to shoot a pretty damn good score. Uh, but I don't know, man. Like I really don't. I never go to the range.
Yeah.
I just hit a lot of wedge shots. Like I like to do a lot of distance control wedges stuff, and then just do a ton of just like as awkward of chips out of like the worst lies I can find.
Gosh, I've heard that a few times in these conversations. That's great. What would you say to, let's go back to your first loop out there at Kiawah. That father son duo after the round goes, "Hey man, we've heard you're a pretty good player. We heard you practice mostly inside of 60 yards. Could you maybe set up like a 30-minute practice session for us?" What would those 30 minutes look like for just your average Joe?
I'd like to spend like 5 or 10 minutes early on, really just looking at the ball flight and like everyone at the top level knows what those wedge shots look like. You're looking at like 28 degrees or so of launch, like as much spin as you can feasibly get on it. Pretty neutral ball flight, and then just looking at which way it bounces on the green. And then after that, like I'm just diving straight into like let's work on distance control and then just try to give yourselves all sorts of different shots. Like I like to practice as much as I can, like externally compared to internally. Like whenever I feel like, all right, like where's my right elbow internally or externally rotated at P6? Like that's not going to tell you anything, man. Figure out how to get the ball like roughly within like that 15-foot circle. And more times than not, like you're only going to need one shot from within 60 yards. Like once you get to like higher levels, you can figure out a couple other shots. But hell, like I hit like the same shot damn near every time, and I feel like I can play pretty good at my best. So like, there's really no reason for me to go away from it right now.
Yeah, I think that's great. Keep it simple. Keep the routine simple. I mean, it's a lot simpler. Playing high level golf is a lot simpler than people think it is. At the end of the day, like you said, it kind of comes down a little bit to loft, if you will, and then just keeping your process simple, keeping your pre-shot routine simple. What are you headed to the four ball, by the way?
I am, yeah, I'm flying out in a couple hours for that one.
Oh, sick.
So
What does the prep look like when you're changing um, geography? Like it's going to be a little different elevation this week compared to basically sea level last week. What is that? Is there anything specific you do prep wise when you're traveling all over the country?
I'll just do like a bunch of just distance control once I get out there. My biggest thing for me is always turf interaction though. Like I have to love the way my irons and wedges feel through the turf, in order to like just kind of feel the confidence. And I love it out there because like the grass is watered so well, so like it's pretty easy to get through the turf for me. And typically when it's easy for me to get through the turf, I play well. I mean, living in South Carolina, I play like nothing but baked out Bermuda, which is actually what gives me the biggest problems most of the time because like the club bounces off the ground and like you also have to be steep because like maybe the ball is not really sitting too well. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm lucky because like I get to play like golf courses that aren't going to be. You're not going to have the best lies every time. It's like whenever I go somewhere where like you do get pretty damn good lies every time, it feels like the game's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But out there is weird. It's really just the knockdown shots for me that give me a lot of issues because like if I hit a full pitching wedge out here, it's going to be like 138. But out there, it could be like 150, 155. And then my knockdown pitching wedge shot out here is going to be like a 132-ish. But my knockdown shot out there is going to be like 142 because it's coming out like a little bit lower window. So the ball never really gets the elevation boost. And so it's just a lot. The knockdown shots are just different. Like I have to hit like high knockdown shots out there, which is something I don't really do a whole lot here.
Well, it's good to know that going into this week. I mean, I guess that's the positive.
Sure.
We'll be tracking along. We're pumped. This episode comes out Friday, so we're excited to follow along. It'll be a good year. We might have. I've been throwing this idea around. We might have to do an end of the year recap with a couple of you guys. I think just a little round table action.
Nice.
Get everybody in a room. I think that would be a lot of fun. So we'll be working on that. We'll be workshopping that here. But Connor, I really appreciate your time. I know you're basically like the busiest golfer on the earth right now. It's kind of obscene, dude. Like you're playing like 9 different tours effectively. Shout out to Liv. Where can people follow you? Where can people support you? All that good jazz, and we'll throw all those links down below.
I mean, I have social media. You're not really going to see a whole lot from me on social media. I guess I'm more of like I don't know. I have Instagram. It's just Connor Doyal. Same with Twitter. Again, just don't expect anything too much from me. I like to stay quiet. Stay in
I
the
love
dark.
that. It's like the Cameron Young approach. It's phenomenal. Well, thanks again for hopping on, Connor. We'll be following along closely this week as you take on the 4-ball, play well this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We will talk to you next week.